A little overwhelming, and I'm so honored that all of you would be here for this special occasion. And I tell you right now, in 2025, I want you to come back for my 90th. And I am going to retire from GE on my 90th birthday. I'm out of there. I'm not going back there anymore after that.
Hey, Mr. P, it's not GE.
What I said, GE? I always like to tell a couple stories. I'll tell a couple here. You may have heard them, you may not have. I ought to get Sharon Melton up here. She's a good joke teller. And she likes to laugh at my jokes, even though she's heard it twice. And Dr. Rothwell over the same way. I love an audience like that. This old farmer had never flown. He'd gotten up in years. And he said, you know what? I think before I die, I'd like to fly in an airplane. So he took the wife and went over to the local airport. Said, never flown before. I'm about ready to pass on. I'd like to fly. The guy said, no problem at all. So we can take you up here. So he said, how much would it be? And the guy said, well, it'd be a couple $100. But he's a little bit tight. He said, oh man, they said, not $200. I'm not going to pay $200 to fly in a plane. He started to walk away. Well, the pilot wasn't to be outdone. He said, come back here, old timer. I'll make you a deal. I tell you, I'll take you up, and I won't charge you a penny if you can keep your mouth shut. If you won't say a word. The old farmer knew if there's one thing you do to keep his mouth shut. So they got up in this plane, and what they didn't realize, this was a stunt pilot. So this guy gets him up there, and he flies upside down, and he about shakes the wings off the plane. And he finally gave up. He's back down on the ground. He looked back at the old farmer and he said, well, he said, old timer, said, I got to hand it to you. He said, you didn't make any noise. It won't cost you a penny. The old farmer said, well, I got to hand it to you. He said, you almost got me there when the old lady fell out. I was walking up the street one day. He's walking by this insane asylum. And they had this big fence up. And he heard him over there chanting. They were saying 13, 13, 13. He walked along, he tiptoed, he couldn't see over there. He said, what are they doing over there? So he finally came to a knothole in the fence, and he bent down, he looked in that knothole, someone poked him in the eye, and then he said, 14, 14. I won't tell any more jokes. Some of my oldest friends are sitting over here at this table. Gino and his wife Elizabeth, they've been friends for so long. They came over here in the 1956 Hungarian Revolt. And he started, working at General Rubber, and he worked his way up and ended up owning a very, very successful business. He spent his winter months in Florida. Been a dear friend all these years. And Bill and Violet sitting over here. Bill and I were ordained deacons at Carla Avenue. And Skeeter Cole, who was worked at GE in labor relations, and he had a full-time job of trying to keep the union quieted down while he negotiated with them, I suppose. We've been friends for years. And Fred Gordon over here, Fred and I kind of worked up through the ranks together. We started out hourly employees, and we both worked up the unit manager's positions at the General Electric Company. A lot of you probably didn't know that once upon a time I worked on the assembly line at GE. And I tell you, it was kind of hard for me not to cry when I looked back and saw that little house and my father. And that was a little tough to sit there, but that's the way it happened. And God has blessed me so much, and I give him all the glory, because I tell you, Wade Mounts is sitting here. Wade is in his 90s, retired CEO of Norton's Hospital. Wade grew up in Ohio with the same kind of background I did, really. No running water, no electricity. And God has blessed me. Sometimes when I walk on a Saturday at my company, I just say, Lord, I can't believe that you blessed me the way you have. And that's the truth. And I give him all the glory, because I could never imagine when I was a little barefooted boy back in Adair County, a one-room schoolhouse, no running water, no electricity. When I left home, my parents didn't have electricity. And to have started out of high school on the semi-line of GE, and I went to night school, and to end up today with a really, really wonderful trucking company. To have my daughter, my granddaughter, my grandson-in-law working with me, a nephew, couple nephews, and it's just been a wonderful experience. And the Meltons back there, we used to go to church together years ago. We were young then. I didn't know they were that young back then, but they were once upon a time. And my good friend Dr. Rothwell here, he got me. I thought I'd never been so high in my life. A little old country boy, a Protestant, and he gets me in the Vatican. I spent a week in the Vatican over there with this guy. That's a pretty amazing story. But you all are my dear friends. And I realized after I put all the names down, I'd start thinking, hey, there's some people I didn't invite. There's probably another 150. But to have this many friends who would take a Thursday night and come out to honor me on my 80th birthday, and some of you finally get there. Just be patient. You'll get to be 80. It isn't a bad feeling, really. I couldn't tell any difference when I got up this morning, so I feel pretty good. God has blessed me. I got my oldest brother will be 91. He was wounded in Iwo Jima. Be 91 next month. Brother that's 89 and a half, and he has a part-time job repairing lawnmowers and things. And then I got a sister's 88. She works 2 days a week at an auction house. She's retired, 65, just kept on working. And my brother, I got a brother here tonight, retired GE 35 years, drove a truck on the road for me for 10 years. Then I had a part-time job for 13 years. He and his buddy from Ford, he'd drive 1 week, and that guy drive 1 week. And they lost their contract. And he said to me one day, he said, I am bored to death. Now, he was 85 then. I said, well, you used to drive a truck with me. Come on back over to Mr. Pete and you work over there. And so he is. He's over there every day. So I'm hoping I've got some of that good DNA. So I'm probably just getting started. But I consider all of you here tonight my friends. And it's kind of funny, my granddaughter was, about 3 weeks ago, she was trying to get everybody's name, and I'd say, well, read me the family. We're writing, and she's like, if she said, Joe Melton, I'd say Sharon. And then called everybody, Doug Watkins, Barbara. And so, but I do know all of you here, and I do consider all of you my friends. And I'd do anything I could for you, and I think you probably would for me, but what an honor that you would do this. I can't tell you how I feel. It's just amazing that you would come out, and I hope you had a good time. We got a big cake. We're going to cut that, and just hang around now and visit a little bit. And I'm honored to be affiliated with Lindsey Wilson College, and Dr. Dean Adams is sitting here tonight. He's taking the place of the president of the college, who's on a sabbatical, and to have Wansu and his lovely wife Hannah to play the way they did. Wasn't that good? Of course, I'm an old country boy. I enjoyed that fiddle a lot, But the violin, that was good. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Cindy, what's the agenda from here on? Eat cake? I'm done.
One last thing, Dad. One last thing. So, now we're going to have his Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and we have a cake, and you can see from your menu all the different layers, and it's going to be wonderful. But I've asked Rachel, our little TV star here, to come up. She has one of her famous poems for Dad.
If you watch Channel 41, Rachel is an anchor on Channel 41. We're proud of her. I tell you a good quick story. We have a big party every year for Thunder over Louisville, and we rent the top floor of the golf house. And we used to do the Hyatt Regency, and they built a Yum Center, so it kind of blocked your view. And so we went and negotiated with the golf house, and Cindy was doing the negotiating. And she said, Dad likes Haagen-Dazs ice cream. They said, we don't serve Haagen-Dazs ice cream. She said, well, he wants Haagen-Dazs ice cream. They said, well, you can't have it. She said, well, if you want this deal, you'll get Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Guess what? We have Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Am I supposed to stay here when you do that? All right, a little auction here, folks. What am I bid? We'll start it off at $5. $5. That would have been 7.5, 7.5. That would have been 10, 12.5, 15. Well, that's all I'm going to do.
Heard my sister say earlier that you passed down the Parnell nose. You can tell some of the cousins have it. I kind of got it. But what I did get from him, his rhyming skills. So we wrote you a poem. We do this every year for his birthday. He always looks forward to it. So he had to do his poem this year. Clap your hands and sing a song, because when Al starts the boogie, you better sing along. He can't play piano without stomping his feet, and when he tells a story, you'll be on the edge of your seat. He likes to play jokes and laugh like a kid. Everyone has a story of silly things he did. His addiction to sweets is no laughing matter. He will pile tasty treats high on his platter. His wife will give him a look and he'll say, "Don't you worry, I'll walk it off on the treadmill the next day." But really, that's his time to spend with the Lord. He walks on the treadmill and prays for all the things he's thankful for. He grew up with faith and shares it with all, and he also has faith in Kentucky basketball. He has many talents you may not have known before. He's an auctioneer, ventriloquist, magician, and more. Many of you know what an interesting man he is, so let's eat some cake and get down to biz. On your 80th birthday, we want you to look around the room and see all the people here for you. So as we celebrate, let's spread some cheer for being such a great friend, dad, and grandfather through the years. 1, 2, 3, happy birthday! Would you join me in singing? Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ellen. Happy birthday to you.
Stay seated. We're going to have some cake sliced to your table.
In the meantime,